Hiya folks, welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This is episode 6 of the Playalong tutorial series, and this episode is all about making some efficiency upgrades and getting everything ready for us to do some proper city building in episode 7 and beyond. Mainly, we're going to be dealing with this construction setup and updating it to be a bit more useful for the future. It's served us well up until now, but there's a few problems that we're going to need to solve, which will make this setup a wee bit obsolete. So, for example, the trucks are kind of all fine because they need to go to the customs house all the time. But the mechanisms, they don't, right? They only drive straight to the building. So having them away up here, miles away from our city, is not particularly useful. And the same with cranes, which means we need to split them away from the buses. And speaking of buses, you'll notice when you're building so far, the materials get delivered very, very quickly, but the workers take longer, and that's because there's a limit to the rate of how many workers come to the customs house. And you might have noticed we've got a second customs house here, and that has a separate pool of workers. So if we can draw from both of these at the same time, we're going to be able to use more foreign workers for our construction and just generally get things done much quicker. That's what we're hoping to achieve today. We will need to move away from the free construction offices, because now we're going to need 2 construction offices for buses and then another separate one for cranes, and we're already capped on how many free construction offices we can use. So going down here near area 3 on this little road, we're going to go into construction industry, and we're going to go into construction offices, and we're going to build a size 24 one, and I'm going to flip that so that the road's a bit closer to the junction, but don't put it right up to the junction. Aim for like between 8 and 10 grid squares away, and we're just going to build one of those there. I'm going to go and get a 12, and we're going to build 2 of these. One here. If it looks like it should fit but it's red, just click and it kind of does a little bit of terraforming and it makes it work. So 1 and then 2. Now the 2 12 ones, we don't need those yet. You can go in and just suspend construction like that, but you can also go into this little construction menu, pick the batch suspend construction, and draw a square around it. We'll just run the game and let that get done, because we will need to do the setup for that within this episode. Second of all, obviously if we're going to be going to this customs house, we're going to need a road. So as always, gravel road. I'm going to build one kind of not straight off there, but just on the grid lines, because it's at a kind of weird angle. And then I'm going to draw, I think I've done this in a couple of episodes but not really explained why. If you build like here and then you connect there, the angle isn't fixed. It doesn't point straight away. But if you build a little slip road type thing here and then you try and connect it, it squares up the angle, right? It aims for a straight line. And then we're going to connect it there, and I'm just going to make the curve big, just because it's pretty, and then connect it onto the customs office itself. And then, as I showed you, I think even in the first episode, there's this connect two pieces tool, and you can do that wherever there's a purple dot, and that'll make sure that that's built in one single go. And then we'll hit start construction of planned infrastructure. Now, in previous episodes, I think I put a note on this when I was editing, but these little roads that can't use a bulldozer, if you don't want to manually assign those to the bus construction office, you can go to this one that has empty spaces, go to purchase new vehicles and mechanisms, and just buy a wee microbus. Because that's got roads and footpaths, etc. assigned, it will deliver small amounts of workers to roads. It's not super efficient, because while sometimes it will deliver workers to these big roads that would be best done solely by a bulldozer, it will at least also deliver that small number of workers to the little bits of roads and make sure you don't have to go and do any manual assignments. So it won't be a whole lot of money. This is more of a tutorial than a full-on maximal efficiency run, and that'll become super important when we start building our city, because once we start building buildings very close to each other in the city and build footpaths between them, we'll get so many of those little short roads and footpaths that can't be done by bulldozers that we really need to have another solution. So yeah, while that's being constructed, roads and vehicles, build a mud road here just off the opposite side of this junction. This is going to be a temporary area for those construction offices I was talking about with mechanisms, and also for like distribution offices. In fact, we can put the distribution offices in now. If we go to general cargo, go up to the distribution office 3, and we probably only need one of these, but chuck 2 in for now just to be sure. So this is going to be for, we're going to have a shop, and it's going to need food and meat and electronics and stuff delivered for our citizens to pick up. We're going to have a water treatment plant, which is going to need chemicals, and this is what this distribution office is going to be for. Probably a couple other things that I can't think of. The other thing we might as well build down here, just for a bit more efficiency, let's get a gas station, a free gas station over here. You know how to do this by now. Just go to our distribution office up here, assign that gas station to be filled up, and that'll mean there's a fuel supply here for all those mechanisms that are going to be parked. Longer term, we'll probably have a non-free fuel station at this junction, but that needs power, which we haven't set up yet. While we're waiting for that, let's mess about with the names of our areas, because the game puts down some like random area names as we were building stuff, but we can update that to be a little more central to our areas. If we go into terrain tools, get the end create city area, and I'll just put one of these on the bus stop, and I'll put one of these on this square, which is also going to be a bus stop. We can delete the random ones it gave us, but yeah, then we can just click on the name, hit rename, and this is going to be in Incineratorville. This is going to be Starter City. There we go. Okay, so that's done. It doesn't have power, but that's fine. The only thing they can't do without power is refuel at home, and that's fine because there's a fuel station right here, so they can just refuel there. So yeah, let's do the setup. Specify source, everything from the construction office. Everything ticked, and maximum distance. So all we want to do is just grab everything from here. So there's 4 open hull ones. There's a change workplace depot for all vehicles. Click that to there, and that'll get them all moving over there. Same for the concrete trucks. This is your new home now. And then same for the dumpers. The dumpers are actually busy doing stuff, but they'll continue doing stuff after they've rehomed themselves, so that's fine. Yeah, and lastly, this one with the covered hull and the microbus, we'll move those over as well. All of those construction offices had the exact same settings anyway, so consolidating them is the best way to do that. And then we can get the demolish tool. We can click on it and press tick, or we can hold control and delete it without a confirmation. So yeah, be careful with that, but it saves you a lot of time. And then you can go into roads, vehicles, and cancel road, and remove the little slip roads from these. Now that we've got some construction offices freed up, and it's winter time, I guess, we're going to go down here. We're going to grab construction industries. We're down next to the starter city in this little temporary area we just created. Construction office free. Put one across from here, one across from here, and then I'm going to chuck the other one on this side. 3 is all we need. Up here we go. We've got these bulldozers to move. We've got the excavators to move. So if you don't want to wait for them to very slowly drive all the way down to that other construction office, you can click on one of them, click load onto the flatbed, load it onto the truck, and then rehome the truck. You click on the truck and just change depot or workplace, send it down there. Easy as that. That'll make it much quicker. You can make multiple truck trips there if you really want, if you're that into your micromanagement, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to hit control to open both of these in pinned windows. Then I'm just going to rehome everything from there, and then everything from here to here. Also, the third one we want to change, the one with the cranes in it. So we've got 2 cranes in here. We'll just double click on both of those to open them in Windows, and we'll move those over one at a time. We don't want to move the buses. The buses stay where they are. And now that we've got 2 extra slots in there, let's buy 2 more of those buses and make it 4. Because I kind of underestimated how far away all of our construction is going to be from the customs house. So 4 buses isn't going to overload the worker supply as much as I thought it was going to. And then kind of similar down here at the one where we just moved those cranes to, we'll go in and we'll find road cranes and we'll buy 2 more just to fill up that. But we'll definitely be using those because we'll be building multiple buildings in parallel. And as before, 3,500. This is the one for the bulldozers, up to 3,500. The one for excavators, however, we want to untick footpaths, factory connections and roads, and then max that out, because otherwise we will get excavators going to do road and footpath construction, which bulldozers are much more effective at. We'll put a construction office here, and this one we're also going to buy 4 of these LZs, and then we're going to wait for this road to be finished. It's looking pretty close to it. Yeah, cool, there, that's done. Yeah, now that these buses are here, we can tell them to go to here, and we can tell them to not do footpaths, factory connections or roads, and then we can max out the auto search range as well. We can demolish these other 2, the ones that used to have bulldozers and excavators in them. Yeah, there's a couple of other things we need to do just that I've noticed that we can fix. These garbage trucks, they've got this mixed waste in there. That's I don't know if it's a bug or just like a weird kind of mechanical issue of how the game works. So to fix that, we just need to go into view line detail, go into where it's unloading that, and then untick hazardous waste so it unloads everything. So it'll unload the mixed waste as well, and we can hit accept there. The other thing we need to look at is, like with those buses for the construction offices, I also underestimated how far away Incineratorville is from the customs office. So when I was telling you we only needed 2 of these garbage trucks, that was wrong. We need more of those. And the same for the microbuses that are delivering workers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, purchase new vehicle or mechanism, and we're going to buy 4 more microbuses. And then in the second depot, we're going to buy, under waste truck, we're going to buy 4 more of the big garbage container trucks. So we already know how to pick one of the existing trucks and assign it. What we can also do is go into the left and find a list of lines. Yeah, so we grab the line for hazardous waste, set line to vehicle, and again hold control to make them launch straight away. All good. And then the same for the bus line, set line to vehicle, hold control, and then off they go. These ones will be clumped up a wee bit at the start, but they'll sort themselves out because we have that line spacing switched on. Yeah, that should make us a little bit more money than we have been so far and keep our staffing levels constant over here. Yeah, because I noticed we were having no staff in our fire station for quite a large proportion of the time, and that's no good. That's not good at all. And one last thing I want to fix. This transfer, first of all, hit notify me if it's overflowing, and we'll do the same for the input. If either of those are full, then that means there's a problem and we need to fix it. But we've only been playing for a little while and we're already nearly 10% full on this. So I think we want to think about where are we going to take this, right? This is just pure ash. It's not useful for anything. There's 2 ways we can dispose of this ash. We can take it to the customs office, pay them like 6 rubles per ton to take it away. Yeah, I guess it's fine. That's an option that we can use in the future. The second option is if we build just a dump. These are super cheap. That can take 270 tons of waste, and while ash is sitting in a dump, it will gradually decay and disappear. So if we can just build like 1, 2, 3 and just we'll just make even just a dirt road is fine here. What we'll do is we'll batch suspend all but one of these. Make sure you connect the dirt road to your actual network. I'll see you when this is completed, and I'll show you how we're going to deal with that. Okay, and I've actually built 2 of these just because I want to show you something. I bought another garbage truck. It's sitting up in a depot up near the customs house, but we don't need to look at it to make it work. So we're just going to set up a route. So we're going to go to the output, and we're going to wait until loaded. And I would recommend that you tick to only pick up mixed waste, because the incinerator won't burn metal, etc. So there potentially will be multiple types of waste in this output at some point. So pick up the mixed waste, and then we're going to take it to here and unload in the dump, but we're not going to tick wait until unloaded. We're going to then go to the second dump, also unload, and not tick wait until unloaded, and always keep it on unloaded 100% of anything. And then what that means is, if you go in here and tick notify me when it's overflowing, notify me when it's overflowing, once these 2 are full, you can just unpause one of these, build it, and then add it to the route. The reason we want to go to all of them is because of what I mentioned about the ash decaying. So if all of the dumps are on the truck route, it'll make sure to refill them and keep them full. I'm just going to hit start on that. Because we bought all of those extra trucks, even in the time it took for me to build these and buy that truck and everything, we're already at 80% full. So that should be everything. I'm hopeful that I've anticipated all the potential problems that might get in the way of us just doing pure city planning in the next few episodes. I guess we'll find out how true that is as we go. That's everything for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.